I want to thank you for joining us here on Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey. I want to talk Haines City Parks and Rec, Ribs on the Ridge. It's a barbecue event that you want to check out. Make sure you put it on the calendar. We're going to tell you all about it. And if we're talking Haines City Parks and Rec, got to talk to a guy. His name is Gerald Richardson. And know this to be true. The old song goes, don't tug on Superman's cape, don't spit in the wind, and don't ever gamble playing golf with Gerald Richardson. What you doing? Look at that.
You're not supposed to tell people that.
Oh, man.
There's some newbies out there that haven't played with,
yeah.
You know, may have that opportunity. You get let the cat out of the bag, taking money out of my pocket.
You got to supplement that income somehow, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Don't play quite as much as I used to. But,
well, you know, the new gig doesn't allow for it. You know?
Looking forward, as you mentioned, obviously, the reason I'm here this year with Ribs on the Ridge, our 17th year, and February 14th and 15th, 2025. Back to the 2-day. Last year we went back to our 2-day format. Previous years we went to the single day, but
we were out there on Friday night shooting. Had a blast. And I tell you the coolest thing, and folks don't get to see behind the scenes, and you guys invited us in, was the pre-meeting. You know what I mean? And look, these are the rules. This is how, and they just kind of laid it down in it, and it was very cool to see. You know, it is an intense competition, but there's a camaraderie that goes on amongst the folks in the competition. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, you talk about the judging and so forth with the pre-meeting. It's very interesting. People who hadn't been part of it would, you know, last year we went to the Kansas City Barbecue Society for judging. Was our first year with that organization, but that, you know, the things that go on with judging and the things that they have to meet and the qualifications and the criteria for each thing that they turn in, and they can get disqualified for certain things and docked. It's pretty interesting. It's not just, this tastes pretty good, let's give it a 6 or an 8 or a 10. But you talk about the groups and the teams. A lot of these groups, you know, do competitions throughout the state, throughout the Southeast, and a lot of them know each other, and it's kind of like, you know, sometimes like family reunions, they hadn't seen each other in a year or 2 years, or, you know, they haven't been to this competition and the other team went to that competition. So it's very interesting that, you know, it's not a cutthroat where these guys, you know, can't stand each other and they're out there, you know, dying to beat the other team. Now, granted, they are dying to beat the other teams,
exactly,
but it's very good, friendly competition. You know, they're hanging out, obviously, you know, meat smoking. You can't sit there for hours upon hours just watching the meat smoke. So they're, you know, they're out hanging and you know, drinking some cocktails and you know, just chatting it up and hanging out together while their food's ready.
And one of the teams that you turned us on to, the guys from up north, and I can't remember where it was. He ended up winning the whole thing. I was amazed at it. I'm like, hey, who won? Hey, I got that interview, man. And
last year. Was it Missouri? Well, like I say, there was 6 or 8 last year that were from all over state. You know, there was Missouri. I think there's somebody from Kansas.
And
somebody
that's
in the Northeast.
The thing about it, normally when these events go on, there's a lot of Florida, Southeastern. But man, you guys drew from all over.
Yeah. Last year was, I would say, a little uptick in regards to that kind of teams that were from outside of the Southeast, and I think. Going to the KCBS is a big draw. KCBS is really one of the top barbecue competition organizations, and going to that really brought some new teams to us last year, and really our event expanded. And you know, also I think, you know, the Triple Crown, you know, which we really haven't got into yet.
Exactly.
You know, that last year I think attracted a few teams, and this year will be the second year of the Triple Crown, and being a part of that with Pig Fest and then Smoke Off the Water.
Nope. Hold on. Go wide. Take it.
It's actually grills.
Grills.
But the Triple Crown going back into that this year with our second year, drew in a lot of new teams, and being a part of that with Pig Fest in Lakeland, and then also Girls Gone Wild in Davenport really drew in some new teams, some new competition to the area.
Yeah, and that takes a partnership, with some folks that I'm gonna go out on a limb with and throw the word familiar with. That'd be Visit Central Florida.
Yeah.
Great partners with the KCBS and bringing that event to you guys. So talk to me a little bit about what Visit Central Florida Sports and Tourism does with you.
Yeah, obviously with this event, last year was really their first year. They had the big push into the culinary front last year, and being part of the barbecue competitions and bringing the Triple Crown and creating that was kind of the side with Visit Central Florida there. In regards to the tourism side, obviously the sports marketing side, the work that we would do with them with all of the events. Actually, just this past weekend with our Ironman event that we had there in Haines City, a huge part, Visit Central Florida Sports brings that in every year, and they're the reason that we hold it, but, the softball stuff that we do with them, the football, all of the events that they bring to the county and we can help with, we're there to assist.
And of course, obviously, it takes a great team to put on this event from the top to the bottom. I mean, from your city manager and your city commissioners all the way down to your Parks and Rec staff. Talk about the participation that they and the effort that they put into this.
Yeah, it's as you say, it's not done by 2 or 3 people. Our staff, as you started with our city manager and commission, they're really behind what we do, and they support us in our events and anything we bring to them that we're looking to do to bring to the community to make it, whether it's events, whether it's programs, they're on board and they're supportive. But like I say, Parks and Rec is really the group that runs the event. Jill Latimer, our special events supervisor, she kind of oversees it and coordinates it and does everything from applications to sponsors to vendors and entertainment. Our kids zone, really everything that's piled into it. She really kind of coordinates and is really the spearhead.
I love the fact you guys put on a ton of events down there. Plus, your facility hosts those events, but you have like the crown jewel of parks in Polk County. Honestly, unlike any other. Bandshell, on the water, open, spacious, just beautiful. Talk to me a little bit about the event at Lake Eva Park itself.
Yeah, Lake Eva Park, for those who haven't been there, like you say, it's a gem. I mean, we couldn't really ask for anything better. Park that was constructed with the bandshell, the great lawn right there, and then right behind it, the lake, our aquatic facility next door, our event center right next door, parking lot, plenty of parking, open space for vendors to be able to vend from. But that, the whole Lake Eva complex, like I say, everything, the community center, everything that's tied in is everything that's right there. And when it comes to hosting events, especially outdoor events, there's not much of a better venue within the county.
So let's talk about the 14th and 15th, Friday night and Saturday. What can folks expect on Friday night? What can they expect on Saturday?
Yeah, Friday night is 5 to 9 p.m. and then Saturday is 10 to 5. So Friday night is really a lot of entertainment, vending. Teams are going through their initial meeting, getting all of the rules, regulations, and so forth. But we have entertainers come in, perform, kids zone, beer, wine garden, food, all types of entertainment options for the family. Saturday is the competition day that kicks off, like I said, at 10. Same thing, got the kids zone, got all types of vendors come out with food, not just barbecue. We have last year we had a Japanese vendor. We have people with hamburgers, hot dogs, all types of Mexican food, all types of options for families, and then entertainment as well on Saturday, and then wraps up with the competition awards ceremony, and everything's wrapped up about 5 o'clock that afternoon.
We as children are taught that Christmas is the most wonderful time of year, but last year in covering your event and covering grills and covering Pig Fest, we took cameras in and we caught everybody after turn-in. And as media covering an event, after the turn-in is over, those cooks are just throwing that food away, and I cannot tell you how much I may or may not have taken back with me. And I would beg to differ. Matter of fact, I would straight up argue that Christmas is pretty good, but barbecue turn-in day, afterwards might be equally as great as Christmas.
Yeah, it is. It is nice being on my. It is nice being on my side. Obviously, when it comes to turn in, the food's turned in. The judges, test it. They don't, there's leftovers that competition and so forth. But yeah, it's they cook a whole rack of ribs to be in the ribs category, and usually there's 4 or 5 of the ribs on the whole rack that's eaten, and the rest of it's left there for us to disperse, or it may go uneaten. So it's got its perks.
Yeah. Well, we got just a little bit of time left. Inspire those to come out and join you Friday and Saturday. And I might be hitting you up. I'm not sure if we're covering an event this year.
Okay.
But I may, come and see you, and may need that, professional courtesy.
Yeah. It's always there for you. But yeah, February 14th and 15th, 2025, out at Lake Eva Park in Haines City. Friday, Saturday night, great entertainment, bands, entertainment for children, great food vendors, beer, wine garden. It's just a great weekend to come out, hang out, be an American, just enjoy the great opportunity of brews and barbecue with the beer and wine, and then also the barbecue that we have.
Always a pleasure seeing you, and glad you got a chance to stop in. And I just got a message on my phone from our legal department. For those of you at home, he's really not that good of a golfer. But come back and see me, will you, Gerald?
Yeah, will do. Appreciate you having me.
All right. Haines City Parks and Rec invites you to Ribs on the Ridge Barbecue and Brew. That would be February 14th and 15th. Ribs on the Ridge is where the sweet smell of barbecue fills the air. The pitmasters fire up platters of goodness. This event is sanctioned by the KCBS and will bring professional and backyard teams from across Florida and the United States to compete for cash, prizes, trophies, and bragging rights to the Triple Crown of Barbecue in Polk County. Attendees of Ribs on the Ridge and Barbecue and Brew can expect to overindulge in tasting endless varieties of barbecue, live entertainment, food vendors, beer and wine, and much, much more. And admission is free. Whether you're a backyard cook or a professional cook or just want to enjoy good barbecue, Ribs on the Ridge is an event that you did not want to miss. For more information, you can give them a call, 863-421-3700, or look them up on the web at hainescity.com. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.